Most welcome in this monthly awareness session on congenital heart disease. Hi, everybody. I am Manisha Sahu, founder of Umang Foundation Chhattisgarh, Umang Digital. From the month of March, I have started this mission to contribute for the little hearts who have been suffering from the congenital heart disease. Basically, I lost my younger daughter due to congenital heart disease 4 years back. And from this year, March, on her fourth death anniversary, I have started this mission to digitally aware people about this deadly disease. Uh, from month of March till now, we have 8 episodes came down in multiple ways, digitally, offline, online, and on every 27, it's my prior duty to contribute something about this, something more about on this topic, so that the little hearts who cannot speak, who cannot talk, who cannot share their pain can get the help from the surroundings. In today's session, I am going to help you more further, not only about the little ones who cannot talk and speak, but the older one who can speak but they don't know about the harmful effects of the screen addiction. In my earlier session, I have already shared much more detailed things about the screen addiction, what all causes have been happening, what all things have been happening because of this screen addiction. I have shared about the heart disease, I have shared about the brain tumor, I have shared about the anxiety, stress, hyperactivity, autism, and many more. And the most important thing that has hit me 4 year back was the birth defect, which was on my daughter's case. That was a congenital heart disease. Something triggered me on past 2 years back when I had first training on this thing, that because of the mobile addiction, because of this mobile radiation, EMR, what all issues can happen. That was the day, and now is the day. No matter what, if I see somebody, if I see any kid watching a mobile phone, something happens inside me. So on today's session, I am feeling very blessed to introduce Upasna ji, who has been doing a great thing about this topic, who is helping people. Basically, she is a founder of Live Your Bachpan, on a mission to help children navigate the digital world with safety, resilience, and confidence. Thank you so very much, Upasna, for coming in this session, for helping. Means it is literally meaning a lot to me. Earlier, I was in a position that I have only a radiation chip that can help to purify the radiation, but it can help up to some extent. But the awareness, the education which you are providing to the kids, to the parents, is literally nobody in the here in our society is doing. Actually, they are not focusing on this topic, that is it something very important to talk about. Because
Yeah.
what parents are feeling actually, that if I need to do some work, I can put my baby into mobile phone, I can give the mobile phone, and I can do all my stuff, right? So आज आप ये सारी चीजें कर रहे हो जिसके कारण पे लोगों को अवेयरनेस हो रही है. नॉट ओनली अवेयरनेस, आप उनको वो बेबी स्टेप्स भी बता रहे हो जिससे कि वो अपने बच्चों को इस एडिक्शन से निकाल सकते हैं. द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग is the awareness, because parents are not knowing it. Second thing, how you can deal with this addiction, आप उसको कैसे बाहर निकाल सकते हो. So I'll not take much more time in this. I'll quickly hand over to Upasna. Over to you, Upasna. Let us all know from where you are, what are you into, how you're helping people, and we will be loving to know from you how you're helping people to get their little ones out of this screen addiction. Also, we also want to know what is the right way to use this mobile phone for a kid, for a older people as well. So over to you. Whatever you want to share, whatever you have in your bucket, we'd love to hear from you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Manisha, for having me here. And, I'm so excited. I'm so happy that we're actually talking about this, because I think we all need it. Our children need it more than anyone else. And as a mother myself, raising an 11-year-old, I'm sailing in the same boat. I've been in these shoes and I know how difficult it is to help our children navigate through this digital world, in a world where everybody's so hooked to screens around them, right? So, as a digital wellness coach, I am deeply passionate about helping children, and helping building a balanced digital world for our children, right? And for whoever is going to be watching this, whoever is going to be joining today, I really want to congratulate them first, because they will be doing this because they care for the future of their child. And that is the first step to change. So being aware, being intentional is the first step to change. So I do want to congratulate you for doing such a great job in spreading awareness about this, such an important topic. And the more and more I read about it, the more and more I've learned, the more and more I've experimented it, the more and more I realize how important it is and how less we are talking about it. So my mission is, of course, to educate children how to navigate this world safely. It is to educate parents and help them and give them tools and techniques to kind of, guide themselves. And because, see, I mean, nobody taught us this. We are probably the first or the second generation raising children in the digital world. So we've always relied on advice from our parents and grandparents in terms of, how to raise children. And now they're clueless about this digital. Most of them are themselves hooked to screens, right? It's so new for all of us. We are struggling as adults. Just imagine, like, I don't think we can deny the fact that our children are living in a world deeply immersed in technology. And when I say technology, I mean the Alexas, the digital watches, the digital washing machine, the digital dishwashers, everything in the house is so digital. Our children are so much connected to devices, right? And why just children? I mean, look at the adults. I can say this with confidence. I don't think there's a single family today which is not struggling with screen addiction in some form or the other, right?
Right.
And
can I interrupt in between, Upasana, so that I can
yes,
share a news clip so that our audience can also understand what we are actually talking is the whole world is talking about?
yes, please. Yes, please.
Thank you so much. I hope the screen is visible.
It is now. Yeah.
Is cell phone radiation an actual health hazard?
जी हाँ, मोबाइल फोन का ज्यादा इस्तेमाल खतरनाक है।
आप अपनी जेब में अपना दुश्मन लेकर घूम रहे हैं।
अगर ऐसा ही चलता रहा तो यकीनन मोबाइल मार डालेगा।
सरकार ने भी मान लिया है कि मोबाइल फोन और टावर्स बहुत खतरनाक है।
A study done by MIT's Electromagnetic Academy says cell phones also interfere with one's sleep patterns.
Next time you want to buy a mobile phone, I suggest you carefully go through the user manual, especially the chapters on safety.
A team of 31 scientists from 14 countries said radiation emitted by cell phones is, quote, possibly carcinogenic.
The city of San Francisco tomorrow takes up whether to warn its citizens about using cell phones.
बड़े-बड़े शहरों से तितलियों, मधुमक्खियों और पक्षियों के गायब होने की वजह भी इन्हीं टावर से निकलने वाला रेडिएशन।
सावधान हो जाएं। जिस मोबाइल को आप एक पल भी खुद से दूर नहीं होने देते, वो आपको आपकी जिंदगी से बहुत दूर कर रहा है।
Now, an international panel of scientists is raising questions about whether there's a link between cell phones and cancer.
If you're talking for more than 20 minutes on your cell phone, the EMR raises the earlobe and brain temperature by up to 2 degrees.
It is also penetrating the brain, skull, and it is heating the brain tissues inside there.
And when it is cooking the brain, then what it leads to sleep disorder, then memory loss, lack of concentration, irritation, and ultimately to brain tumor. अगर आप मोबाइल फोन नहीं भी यूज करें,
right?
Much as I watch this video, I always get the goosebumps. It is not only talking in India, but globally it is an issue. So with the help of this news clip, I literally want to spread more and more awareness that it is not a normal thing which you are giving to your mobile phone. It is not a harmful device which you are giving to your kids or which you are actually using it.
And just
Over to you.
imagine, all these things, like, of course, they're increasing efficiency. Of course, they're, making our lives easier. But just think about it, how are they receiving these instructions? Like, how are these hands-free that we're using, right? These are radiations, and these are electromagnetic waves. Like there is some way in which the communication is going, right? Something is hidden around us, and excess of everything is bad. We know that things in balance, and I absolutely appreciate technology. I mean, we are having this live session, this YouTube wouldn't have been possible. I mean, you're sitting in Chhattisgarh, I'm sitting in Delhi, like, we are connecting.
Yep.
And we would be reaching people across the globe. So we are grateful for technology to be there, but it's important to use it in balance. And it's important that we teach our children to use it in balance as a tool and not get
like the same
absorbed.
way when we were very young and we were used to write an essay on Vigyan,
Correct.
Abhishap ya
Abhishap,
Chamatkar.
absolutely, exactly. We're living that. We're living those things that we used to write in the essay.
Right.
And the problem is not the screens or technology. The problem is that we are kind of, robbing our children of the ability to stay present. We would be traveling, or we would be having a family time, or children are having meals, but we have taken away from them the right to enjoy that particular thing by giving them a screen. So one, the physical health disorders that it's causing is for real. But more than that, their emotional and mental well-being is getting impacted because of screens. And today I want to talk about, first, of course, everybody understands at a very high level that screens are bad, and this digital, and people just talk about that, Arey, hamare time pe to tha nahi, but now it is there, and we kind of stop at that. But no, I mean, we are raising children, and we want them to be resilient. We don't want them to be slaves to screen or technology. I mean, this is such an intelligent generation. We don't want to lose their intelligence and creativity to screens. So I want to talk about 6 ways as to why screens are harmful. And of course, you spoke about radiations, which is very, very important. But I want to bring to everybody's notice that the 6 harmful effects of screens, or when I say screen, I'm using it interchangeably with anything connected, the iPads and laptops and everything digital.
Exactly. People are saying that is it only mobile? नहीं नहीं, मेरा बच्चा तो टीवी देखता है, मेरा बच्चा मोबाइल नहीं देखता.
Yes, smart TV.
Yeah.
Right? They talk to the TV these days that TV on karo, wo on karo, but uska impact kya ho raha hai? We are not realizing that. And so I want to talk about the 6 harmful effects, that we really, really need to be aware of. One, the brain development. Okay. Technology is evolving at a fast pace, which is great. But our brain is still evolving in the same way that it was evolving in the past. It's still evolving at a certain pace. It's not as fast. So now, if you give your child too much information too soon, their brain is not yet ready to process it. So they don't know how to make those choices and decisions, and there's too much of stimuli going on in their mind. And that's what's causing the anxiety and the aggression, because they don't know what to do with that information, right? The neofrontal cortex of the brain, okay, which is typically, you can understand it as your executive functioning, or you can understand it as a CEO of your brain, which makes the decisions, which makes the choices. It gets developed as late as in your early 20s or very late teens, when you're 18 or 19. So now just imagine, your brain is not yet ready. That part is not ready, which makes the decisions and choices for you. So now all the information that is being thrown at you, you don't know what to do with that. Your brain is not yet ready. So you just go with what you see and all of that. So the brain, and of course, everybody knows the dopamine it's the chemical, the addictive chemical that gets released. It's responsible for motivating behaviors. But now children are getting it from screens, right? So that whole chemical reaction that needs to happen, leading them to do more and watch more and more screen, is kind of creating that imbalance in their minds, right? The second harmful effect is the physical development. Okay, physical playgrounds have been replaced by digital playgrounds. Now we all know that if you are sweating it out in the field and you're playing a game, how that physical and mental abilities are working together to process, right? But when you're playing just the game, online game, it's just your mental aspect which is working right now. Physically, you're not exerting, right? So the whole aggression, like the gaming is causing so much of aggression and anxiety. And again, I want to repeat myself. I don't think all these things are bad or wrong. When done in balance, they're absolutely right. But when you have to teach your child to be in balance, right? So the physical development, you spoke about how the video showed how radiations are impacting sleep. And it is true. Like when we sleep, we are surrounded by phones or all around us. It is impacting sleep. When children watch too much screen before sleeping, it impacts their mental health. It impacts their sleep deeply. It impacts the dreams that they get, and they don't get up and wake up fresh. So the physical development is getting impacted. The social development, you put the children in a room and they don't know what to talk to each other about. They're all looking for their parents' phone to just start the game, but they are not able to understand that connections are formed when you connect with each other emotionally. Okay, so now on an online game, you're interacting with the person behind the screen. You don't know how the person is feeling. There are chats which are really, really hurtful comments. Children delete people from the groups without understanding how it impacts people emotionally. So the social connection, the social bonding is getting impacted. Children are awkward. Adults we are awkward. Like the moment we're just standing for a few minutes, we'll just take out the screens from the pocket and start scrolling instead of making an effort to have a conversation with somebody. So the social connections are getting impacted. Fourth, very important, is emotional regulation. Okay, so whenever a children, you rightly said, right, phones have become digital pacifiers for our children. So if you're busy with work, give your child a phone. That's the way to do. If your child is having a meltdown, he's crying, show them the screen and they will stop crying. So now, how will they learn to regulate their emotions? How will they learn to express? They have a fight in the school, they come back home, they're feeling frustrated. They don't want to talk to you. They want their phone because they're like, oh, I'm feeling anxious. I just want to, get pacified by watching the screen. So the emotional regulation is getting impacted, right? And most importantly, the fifth and very, very important, their sense of self and how that is getting impacted is their beliefs are getting formed by what they see, right? That's true for all of us. Our beliefs are formed by what we see. Now, what they're seeing is algorithm-based videos and clips and data. So what does the algorithm do? It shows them more of what they want to see. Okay. So now the whole creativity, everything is lost, and they are just, the algorithm and the artificial intelligence is actually driving their beliefs. Okay. And last but not the least, the vulnerability to online scams, predators. I mean, we are hearing this is coming in the news, like digital arrest. I got a call this morning, like, from a telecom authority, and, the number is going to be discontinued, and which was a scam. And they kind of, asked me to press a number. Now, I'm aware because I'm into this stuff. I'm dealing with this day in, day out. But what about the kids, when they listen to an automated voice, like how the hell do they know what is real, what is fake, what to do, what not to do? Right? If we don't spread the awareness, they wouldn't know. They were like, okay, they have a phone, they get a call, they just, be a good citizen and follow the instructions. So all these 6 factors are so, so important to talk about. And parents need to start having conversations about these with each other, instead of judging that, oh, this person is giving more phone, or this person, अरे वो भी तो करता है, वो भी तो रात को ऐसे देते हैं, वो भी तो ऐसे करते हैं, ये भी ऐसे करते हैं. Instead of doing all of that, let's start having conversations.
Right. Actually, this is something which is missing very badly from nowadays society. And we live in a nuclear family where we have only 2-3 people in the home, and everybody is busy in their mobile phones.
Correct. And, we just don't have those conversations, or all we want to do is like, we just tell the child to stop the screen. We just say enough time, band karo. Or we'll snatch it away, or we'll put screen time limits or bans and all that. And I've tried that. I've tried all of that before I started on my journey. I've kind of been through this whole phase of this whole traditional method of parenting where, you just put the ban, you take away the screen, the whole negative outlook. But what I realized is that our children needed a more thoughtful approach. It blends digital and offline. And it's not like the fearful approach of resisting screens, And that's why even today, like the disclaimer that I always give to parents, when I talk to them is that, one, there is no quick fix. So if they would think that there's going to be a quick download, quick, we're going to watch this video and we will learn how to reduce screen time, that's not going to happen. So none of what I'm going to say is going to do that, and it won't help you. And secondly, you cannot eliminate screens and gadgets from their lives. They are living in a world immersed in screens and technology, and they are, the term we use, right, the digital natives, that they are born in this world. Like the other day, we could not connect our phone, with our TV. And I honestly, I have no qualms in confessing that I really can't operate our smart TV, and my son is much more adept in doing that, and he knows all the features and what to connect and all that. He's a digital native, he's natural at it. But as parents, we still have the wisdom and experience. So that's okay, even if you're not tech savvy, but we have the wisdom and the experience to know what is right, what is wrong. And it is our responsibility to guide them to that, and we just can't take pride. We just can't take pride कि अरे मुझे तो कुछ नहीं आता, मेरे बेटे ने ही सब कुछ कर दिया, and he plays on his own and all of that. We can't take pride in that.
I have seen so many parents who are literally on a pride side that मेरा बेटा सब कुछ कर लेता है इसमें.
Yes.
वो आप ना मोबाइल पे आप उसको पासवर्ड नहीं भी बताओगे ना तो वो निकाल लेगा पासवर्ड. Kind of
Yes.
this type of thinking is there in the parents' mind.
Yes. And just imagine, like, instead of teaching the child कि बेटे आपको password किसी से share नहीं करना है, that's the safety element, that it's okay. We want to encourage them that, okay, it's a good thing. I mean, it's a great skill to have, but only on a positive side. And as long as you as a parent have the control to the phone, as long as you have the control to watch he or she is watching, as long as you are educating them about the safety concerns, about balance, about behavior. So our children are part of group chats. Okay, it's very common these days. In school, iPads are used and stuff, and there are group chats. There are WhatsApp groups they are part of. As a parent, it's our responsibility. Fine. I mean, you don't want to be involved day in, day out. That's okay. Give them their independence, give them a sense of responsibility. But you need to know what your child is typing there and what others are typing for your child. Instances about cyberbullying are on the rise.
Right. Nobody is actually talking about these things. Like they our kids are having so many groups created and they are chatting whatever they wanna chat. Even like in older days, what was there? We used to have our diaries, and that was a safe thing that no parents is also allowed to watch it like that.
Correct.
But somehow parent used to have an eye over that also, what exactly we are doing it. But nowadays kids are getting their mobile phones and they ask parents not to get involved in their chats.
Correct.
And they are respecting their privacy in a wrong way, right? They
Yeah,
don't
I mean,
know
just for convenience, so that you can stay a little bit late, at a party, or you can, do something that you want to do. I mean, everything done in balance is fine, as long as, you are able to teach your child is not indulging in bad behavior, in disrespectful behaviors, or he's not subject to bad behavior, Somebody needs to teach. See, both the children are not aware. Somebody needs to teach children the online behavior, because in the real world, they're used to the rules and traffic police and things like that. We have a police and there's a citizenship rules and stuff. In the online world, there's nothing. So they feel that it's a free world, right? So somebody needs to guide them till the time we actually have rules and regulations in place. We don't have. It's a flawed digital ecosystem that we're living in. So, and what I want to talk about is also, so we understand the problem and the 6 problems that I spoke about.
And the one most important thing which I want to share right now is that parents who are saying that मेरा बच्चा जो है वो मोबाइल नहीं छोड़ रहा, तो I want to give them a message. बच्चे ने हमसे मोबाइल नहीं मांगा था.
Yes.
हमने अपनी सहूलियत के लिए उनको दिया था. For our convenience we have given them. They haven't asked us. Now it's our responsibility to help them to get out from this addiction, right? But they are not taking the responsibility right now. They are saying
it's
नहीं वो तो चिल्ला रहा है.
responsibility, and you know what? ठीक है, we've done that. That's fine. But the bigger problem here is that if a child is not listening to you, right? It's not the child's fault. It's probably the connection is missing. Right. So you can make how many rules, जितने मर्जी आप बना लो, आप जितने मर्जी boundaries लगा दो, time limits लगा लो, whatever you do, आप strict बनो, warm बनो, whatever you do. If you don't have the connection with your child, life is going to be difficult. Life is going to be difficult. Simple instructions like keep your shoes in place, your books in place, study, do your homework, stop doing screen, talk properly. All of these things, nothing will work if you don't have connection, right? So one of the elements, when I say that how to reduce screen addiction, I talk about this element called connection, because this is important. Why is it important? Because आपका बच्चा online है, troubled है, somebody is troubling, या उसको कुछ नहीं समझ में आ रहा है, या क्या करे, या whatever it is, right? अगर आपका connection ही नहीं होगा, will he come to you? Right? And then that child will go on a Google or Chat GPT or
Right, they used to ask, Mama, आप Google से पूछो ना.
हाँ, right? So now Google will come out with 1,000 responses. Who's responsible to tell them which is right, which is wrong? There's too much information, right? Too much information too soon, it's impacting their brain.
Right.
So sensitive topics, they might just go to Google and Chat GPT, but imagine the harm that can have. Instead, they should come to you. They should know that, okay, I can go to my parents and it's okay. If they make a mistake, imagine if they make a mistake, would they come to you? Like, it was so hard, it was so disturbing to read that news article, right? There was this girl, she had a boyfriend through Instagram, and he raped her, and then she committed suicide. And she was a very, very brilliant student. I mean, she was a good student, but just imagine, like, just because she couldn't communicate her concerns, with her family, what she would have been going through and all of that. I mean, these things, do you think we could have avoided if we would have a little bit better education? Children are not, children don't fear being judged.
Correct.
All the time
Children are not getting that connection with the parents, right?
तुम ऐसे हो, तुम addicted हो गए हो, तुम सुनते नहीं हो, right? So they are shaping their identities. The moment we label them, the moment we keep on saying कि तुम ऐसे हो, तुम ऐसे हो, तुम ऐसे हो, we're labeling them, and that becomes their identity. Now, the moment you tell a child कि अरे यार तुम तो addicted हो, तुम सुनते नहीं हो, that's an identity now. Now you struggle to change. Whereas, you can be like, okay, today probably you want to do this, but can we handle this differently, right? This is causing concern. ये हमारी लड़ाई भी हो जाती है फोन की वजह से, and maybe there is something that you want from me. तो क्या मैं कुछ differently करूं जिससे कि आप फोन कम कर सकते हो? So, it has to be a conversation both ways. I mean, as parents, we have to be vulnerable. Look, I mean, we are making mistakes with our screens all the time as well, right? We pick up this phone, हम अपने बच्चे के साथ खाना खा रहे होते हैं, phone आता है, हम उठा लेते हैं, right? We are not trying to stay present. So we make mistakes, and that's okay. Nobody wants you to be perfect. As parents, it's a learning journey, and that's okay. But accept your vulnerability. Talk to your child, have conversations that, let's learn together. It's not you versus me. आपस में battle करने की बजाय, it's like, hey, screens है, मुझे भी नहीं आता, तुम्हें भी नहीं आता, let's learn together, right? So I was saying that, we understand the problem, we understand the radiations and the physical health and the brain health and all of that. But an important aspect that I think a lot of people don't understand is what exactly is causing addiction. Root cause, because honestly, screen addiction is just a symptom, right? It's not the disease. And I mean, this was a big aha moment for me when I read this from leading psychologists and counselors. Okay. And they said that screens are not causing addiction.
Okay.
Right? So now this really is a bulb on moment, and it takes time. So I want parents to really understand this, that screens do not cause addiction or distraction. Screen is lying here. There is a screen lying here. Am I distracted? Am I hooked? Right? No. It's just a symptom, screen addiction. But what the psychologists and counselors say, that addictions are caused because, or a screen addiction is caused because of unmet psychological needs. Okay. So just like we have physical needs, like, we want to have protein and fat and carbohydrates and all of that, we need nutrients. Our body needs nutrients. Our mind, our brain, our, mental health requires nutrients, psychological nutrients. And screens are designed to meet the emotional needs of our children much better than we are doing. So when our children is getting addicted, don't blame it on the screen. We have a tendency to blame on things that we cannot control, right?
Blame game is the easiest game which a human being use.
Exactly. So tantrum है, अच्छा, teenage हो रहा है ना, इसलिए, hormone changes हो रहे हैं. अच्छा ये चीज है, ओके एडिक्शन हो गया है या सुनता नहीं है ये स्क्रीन्स की वजह से, राइट? वी नोबडी रियलाइजेस कि अरे हमारी कनेक्शन खराब है,
राइट,
की वजह से एडिक्शन
राइट,
है, स्क्रीन ने कुछ नहीं किया, राइट? सो it is about understanding that addiction happens because of our inability to manage our thoughts, our emotions, to draw boundaries, right? Addiction is caused when our children's emotional needs are not met. Okay, so it's very important for parents to understand this, because when they understand this, they handle it differently. Okay, so what are those emotional needs? Those emotional needs, our children have these needs to feel seen, for example. They want to control, they want to be heard, they want to feel important, right? As everybody, they want to feel that they're in control. Now screen gives them that, because unko badges milte hain, they win, then they can change their identity. It's a free world, they feel successful. Koi pasand nahi hai, delete kar do WhatsApp group se. Likes and followers mil rahe hain, they feel important, right? So and that's the dopamine rush also. So they do screens because it's easy, it's satisfying, it's emotionally satisfying, it's attractive, and it's easily available, right? It's around you.
right.
So if we can give them the same amount of satisfaction with other things by being available for them, for example, connection. Children crave connection, and when they don't get it, they kind of go to screens. Because like, ab kya kare? They want parents' time.
Right.
Parents' time and attention to mil nahi raha. So go screen, right?
Right.
Sometimes they come back from school. Maybe they had a bad day at school. Okay. Now they come home, and now nobody's available to listen to them, and there's a screen lying in front of them, and they feel there's this emotional something going on, but now that need is not getting met, so they're going to meet it by scrolling on the screen.
Right. I totally connect with it. I totally connect with it. Because when my kid was also on a screen addiction mode, because for 3.5 years continuously, she was watching the mobile phone. She was not eating without the mobile phone. Every time she needs mobile phone. And I take the responsibility that I gave her for my convenience. I would not deny on this part. But yeah, when I helped her for getting out of that addiction, I had built a strong connection with her,
Yeah.
with the storytelling, with the bonding, by hearing her, because kids wants to talk more and more and more.
They crave
And
connection. They crave.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
And we adults, what we want to talk with the people of our age, but we don't want to listen to them. There are so many parents who want to talk with them. They are very happy talking with their kids. But nowadays, the digital parents don't want to talk with the kids, because I don't know what gives to them, but they are more comfortable and very happy on the screen as well. They are giving screen to kids, and they are using the screen for themselves. So I totally connect with that, because kids want to talk. उनके अंदर के बुलबुले इतने ज्यादा होते हैं, वो बाहर निकालना चाहते हैं.
Yes.
So they want a listener in front of them.
Exactly. And they want, and what do you mean when we say connection, right? Most parents think that अरे हम तो parent हैं, हम तो father हैं, mother हैं, so connection so obviously है. We think it's a default mechanism. No, it has to be built. And like any relationship, any relationship, connection is not by default. Communication is fine, but that connection, that deep connection where you understand each other, where your child respects and listens to you, and when you have connection doesn't mean कि आप बच्चे की हर बात मान रहे हैं. Connection means कि जब आप उसको मना कर रहे हैं, वो समझ रहा है कि आप उसको मना कर रहे हैं, and still okay with that, he or she.
Yes,
and that takes effort.
They can understand the difference, that if I'm getting something from my parent, either scolding or love, I know what reason is behind that thing. That is a special bonding in between a parent and a kid, which I believe myself.
Exactly. And when that happens, and it's work in progress, ऐसा नहीं है. अब I always relate this to, वो जो पुराने जमाने में एंटेना होता था, so जब वो हिल जाता था, we used to go on the terrace, हिलाते थे, वो तार हिलाते थे, all of that, right? फिर वो ठीक हो जाता था टीवी का कनेक्शन. That's exactly what it is. I mean, kids are so resilient. आपका आज कनेक्शन अगर lose है, if you realize it, and if you fix it tomorrow, you'll be back on track, right? But just don't keep making it worse. Just don't keep on. Just be aware that, acha, today my child is shouting back at me. Maybe something is going wrong with our connection. Let's fix it. Instead of saying, acha, तूने मेरे पे कैसे चिल्लाया? Now I'm going to shout back at you, and it's a a circle, never-ending circle. And so that's what's very important. So connection, right? So now we understand that अरे screens को blame करने की बजाय, let's understand child's emotional needs. Then try to address that, right? So that's the number first step to change. Now I want to talk about the 3 things in which you can change your child's screen habits. I'm going to talk about the solution now.
Very important.
Yes.
I think every parent would want to just stick on the screen to listen to it.
Yes. So we understand what's the problem, right? We understand what's causing it, which is, of course, the emotional and the, unmet emotional needs and all of that. Now, how do we solve for that? Now, when we understand the problem, only then we can solve the disease, right? So when we know that ये तो symptom है कि बार-बार बुखार आ रहा है, पर वो आ क्यों रहा है, right? That's when we actually are able to give the right medicine. So that is why it's so important to have the right diagnosis. Now, how do you do that? Okay. So I call this as the 3-step approach. Step 1 is being intentional. At least आप recognize करें problem क्या है. And when I say intentional, a lot of people have the desire to have, हमारे बच्चे के screen reduce हो जाए, focus, distraction, all of that. But that is desiring, and desiring is not being intentional. Okay. A lot of people desire to be healthy. But when you're intentional, you actually go out for walks. You actually reduce your junk. You actually stop storing junk in your food. You actually take steps. And that is what being intentional is. So if you are intentional about screen, you will watch this podcast, you will watch other videos, you will, take the steps, you will take the courses, whatever it takes. You need to be more present for your child. You will do it no matter what. Okay. And that is the difficult part. That's why this is the step 1. Which is becoming intentional that yes, no matter what, I want to do this. Becoming intentional is also about becoming aware about how bad the problem is, not denying it. अगर आपको weight lose करना है, you can't deny कि आपका, कितना weight है या क्या problem है. You have to be like absolutely brutally honest. ये problem है. So you have to scan your own digital environment. आपका environment कैसा है? Is everybody on the screen all the time? आप screens खुले में रखते हैं? आप कितना अवेलेबल है बच्चे के लिए, क्या और अदर एक्टिविटीज में वो इन्वॉल्व है, उसका एनवायरनमेंट कैसा है, फ्रेंड्स कैसे हैं, राइट? सो बीइंग एब्सोल्युटली क्लियर अबाउट ऑल ऑफ दीज, बीइंग ब्रूटली ऑनेस्ट, राइट? सो बिकमिंग इंटेंशनल एंड accepting that it's going to be hard work. So it's not going to be easy, right? There are no shortcuts to success. So this is going to require work. So are you willing to do the work? That step, and that's where the real change happens. Imagine jitna bhi transformation hai, big transformations don't happen just by desiring, right? We take daily steps, we take actions. So that's step number 1, is become intentional. Step number 2, and we've already spoken about it, is connection. Okay. Build connection with your child. Understand their triggers. Every child is different. Your child has different interests and temperaments and triggers than mine. Maybe the child needs you at a certain time more than another time. Can you be available at that time? Maybe the child comes back hungry and is irritated because of that. And now because he's irritated or she is irritated, now they want to do screen. So can you make sure that their food or hunger is taken care of so that they're not irritated, right? Maybe the child wants to sleep at a certain time. Now it's getting, needs, but now you're like, you're out late. Now, so because of you being late, now you're like, acha, theek hai, I'm going to stay here at the party a little longer. Can you do screen till then? Right? So now we are permitting. So now the child's going to be irritated or whatever it is. We will screen karega. And then now when you are done, you'll be like, okay, now stop. Now you don't have the choice.
Yes.
Right?
Like every parent should listen to this. Like my literally heart, I get tears in my eyes that exactly we parents are doing the wrong thing and blaming our kids that they are being addicted.
Yes. It's like we are at the center of their digital habits. We see, I mean, we a lot of parents don't like it when we say role modeling plays an important role, but it does. I mean, just think about our own selves. We are the results of the values and the upbringing that we have all got, and that's the kind of parent we are now, right?
Right.
Subconsciously, we are reflecting the same practices in parenting the way we were raised.
Right.
So these things really play an important role, and I really want people to understand these factors, that being intentional, being willing to do the work. And when you become intentional, the good thing is that it doesn't matter that every day is not going to be perfect, right? You're going to be failing, you're going to feel like, "Arey, nothing is working, main kuch nahi kar sakta ya kar sakti." But that's what the magic of being intentional is, that when you fall, you're ready to get up and come on track again, right? And that's with connection, that even if you have a bad day, you'll come back again tomorrow fresh to build connection, to do the work, And the third most important element is education, right? And you and I, when we spoke for the first time, I told you that, we discussed that, we don't put our children in a swimming pool without giving swimming lessons.
Right.
Right? We're not going to give our child a knife and say ki ye lo khelo iske saath, and unless and until we are around or they are responsible enough to use it. Then why the hell do we give them screens without educating them? Okay.
Right.
So when I talk about education, it's the three things that we need to talk to them about. One is balance, okay, to use screen in balance, which is, forming habits. And it's also about having a willpower, having, the right level of habits and commitment and all of that. So forming boundaries, for example. So you're okay to do screen, but then there are certain boundaries that you don't do it at a certain time, you don't, watch certain kind of content, all of that. Then is your behavior. Okay, very important, because we take ourselves online. So we need to teach our children about respect, about empathy, about critical thinking, like what is right, what is wrong, and all of that, right? And for example, ChatGPT is great and I love that, but our children need to learn that they just can't simply copy paste from chat. Like, you still have to critically analyze the information and things like that,
Right.
So that's
for a simpler example of this, like my daughter is in class 3, and when she is getting her maths homework, she does the calculation by herself. Now she has been given the mathematics multiplication and division. She used to do it in the copy, and then she is taking out the mobile and checking the answers in the calculator. I told her that, beta, it is not the right way. You have to put your efforts and ask me. I'm here to tell you whether you are right or wrong. It's not the mobile who has always been correct.
Yes.
So yeah, kids nowadays are more prone to the mobile. They are more, mobile phone is verifying that you
and
are
they feel
right
in
or not.
control. They feel in control. ना कि अरे क्यों जाना है मम्मी के पास, मैं खुद से I can do it.
Right.
So
kids are losing that confidence on the parents because of the mobile phone, which we are actually providing.
Yeah, and we are allowing that to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. We are the reason. Nobody else.
Yes. And the third pillar is safety. So we have to educate them about safety. We have to tell them about the crimes and the scams and the threats that there are. Not being friends with strangers, not giving out passwords and personal information. Children will just click a pic and put it on Instagram, but if it is giving away information about where they are, it's dangerous. So all of that, is very, very important for parents to understand first, because they themselves put pictures of their children and give away too much information, and educating their children about the cyber crimes and the environment and all of that. So I think these three elements are very, very important, in that order. So as I said, no amount of education will work if you don't have connection, if you're not intentional. It's not about outsourcing parenting. It's still very much your responsibility to kind of, have these things in place.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful, Upasna. That is something very deep which a parent has to understand. Being a parent myself, I need to understand all of these things so that I can help out my kid in the home, so that I can also give this thing to the society so that they can understand. Kids are not having any issue. We are having issue. We need a me time. That's why we are giving the mobile phone. And take the blame on yourself. We are not taking the responsibility on ourselves.
And
we are
I
just
always insist, it's okay. We are not perfect. As I said, we are the first or second generation. We don't know either. Like, we didn't grow up with all this. So
Right.
we are going to mess up. That's okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
accept it. You know,
Yes.
aware.
Acceptance is very important, which we are not doing.
Yes. So I accepted that, that's okay. And that's when you learn. You're like, hey, for example, you and I, how did we start on this journey? Is because we wanted to help our child.
Right.
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 Because we are raising our children in this world and we want to just make sure that they are resilient, and we wanted to do it, the way that works.
Right.
That's how we were intentional. Right. So
Right.
that started the first step. And here we are, and we make mistakes, on the journey. There are some days when they don't listen and all of that, and that's okay, right?
Yeah.
But that's the learning, it's the work in progress, which is more important. And I want more and more schools to take ownership, because they've introduced iPads without any discussion about digital literacy and things like that. I want more and more parents to have conversations about this. If they're struggling, talk to somebody, reach out. Don't try to, fix things. I mean, in today's digital world, it's so easy to kind of get knowledge. All you have to do is just reach out, right? Through this video. And, I'm happy to share some of my links. There's a digital questionnaire I've designed, which will help parents to assess the digital balance for their child. So, I'm happy to share those links that you can
Definitely, we will be badly in need of that.
Yes. So it's all about having those conversations, taking the step. There's so much information available. I mean, use that. And I mean, we, as we say, right, we are our biggest limitation.
Right.
So we got to start overcoming that and start having those conversations, not look at screens as something bad or something to be restricted or resisted, because it's too late now. The genie is out of the bottle. And
Right.
it's just that we find ways to kind of manage this.
Right.
And let's not leave our children alone in this.
Yes, exactly.
Let's not leave them alone to figure it out by themselves. I mean, I read this and it so resonated. Like, we will not open an alcohol, you want to open the alcohol cabinet for your child and say, okay, this is now would you use it and consume it on your own, right?
Exactly. I used to give this example of the cigarette. Like, will you be giving the cigarette to your kid? Definitely the answers are no. But are you giving the mobile phone to your kids? They are saying yes. So I used to give this example in every of my presentation in the school and colleges and in the corporate offices, that when the cigarette came new in our society, the TV commercials used to say that it is for our we get so much of relaxing mode because of the cigarette, right? But as the day passes and we got more and more awareness about this thing, now any place where that cigarette is shown, any smoke out of that shown in the screen, every time it is written, some statutory warning is written that it may cause you cancer, it can kill you. So the same way, the mindset has to be changed. It is not like that always it is a very happy mode, that digital education is very important, digital is very good. So you need to understand how much balance is to be created, how much we have to use, for what purpose we need to use. And for the parent, it has to be very, very clear that what for you're giving your mobile phone to your kids.
Absolutely.
Quickly, I want to share the quick points which you have shared with the right now in this journey, Upasna. You have told us about the 6 harmful effects which has been by which we can face because of this mobile addiction. Is a brain development, physical development has been hampered, social connections are impacted, emotional balance is getting impacted, sense of self, creativity is getting lost, because kids are more prone to the screen. They are not utilizing their creative brains,
and their beliefs are getting formed because of screens.
Yep. Vulnerability to get into the online scam, because kids cannot understand which is right or which is wrong, so they can get into the scam. And even because of the mobile games, right, because of the games, many people have lost their lakhs and lakhs rupees in the game. So that is also happening. So
and they're playing with strangers online.
There
are games,
Right, and there is so many harmful effects that has been shown because of the this gaming thing, that they are losing the sensitivity in the thumb, they are losing the sensitivity of the brain, they are not being able to take the right decision and everything. So that is the thing. Now, after that, you have shared that there is no quick fix. It takes time. We cannot eliminate screen because it's our daily requirement. Yeah, because
Yes.
without mobile phone or without laptop, without television, we cannot live in this society because it's our daily requirement, right?
Yes.
Then you have shared us the most and the most important thing is that connection with the kid. I think this is the most important takeaway which I have got from today's session is the
If there can
connection.
be just one thing that you can do, I would say just do this.
Right, right. So you have also shared the 3 steps to get rid of the addiction is that become intentional. Yeah, many of the times we lose our hope. We deny ourselves. Oh, nahi ho payega. रहने दो, दे दो mobile phone. So we have to become an intentional. We cannot deny. We cannot quit. So first of all, we need to understand: are we willing to do it or not? Yeah, I'm saying we because I was also the same person. But yeah, I'm on this journey. So I am
Yes.
willing to do it. So people who are watching live or will be watching the recording, you need to first of all be willing to help your kid. He or she cannot come out of this alone. Then secondly, build a connection with your child. Be available for your child. Whenever he or she needs you, you need to be available, whether for sleeping, whether for eating, whether for playing. You need to be available for them.
Yeah,
And
and take part in their digital world, for example, take part in their online games, talk to them about what they're playing, what's going on in the online world, what game is working, figure it out, find out, have conversations, right?
right. Right. And the third most powerful thing which you have shared is the education. Education on balance of use of this digital thing, willpower, how much to use and how much not.
Yeah.
Then the right level of habits, what content we are consuming, certain boundaries about the content, what should a kid should watch. Even we can also use that the antiviruses or the kids locking system in our mobile phone. At least
Yes,
that
the
much can
limits.
be, yeah,
Correct.
that can be done for our kids. Behavior to use the digital content, have respect and empathy. Yeah, we cannot cyberbully other person, other people. We cannot comment harshly on another people's
Yeah.
post. I was not being focusing on those areas, right? But because of you, I've been able to understand that yeah, this
Yeah.
actually can morally down any kid. That if somebody is body shaming, color shaming, racial discrimination, or whatever they can do.
Correct.
So the education is very important. And lastly, the safety is very very important. Being a parent, many of the times we used to give so much of the content about our kid that मेरा बच्चा तो इतना प्यारा सोना
Yes.
बाबू है, दुनिया देखेगी तो बहुत खुश होगी, right? But yeah, we can go it can go against for ourselves as well. So these are the very important and powerful things which you have shared today, Upasana, which was literally not in my mind, because some extent I was thinking, but not into this deep down. But yeah, thankfully, because of God's universe thing, that I got it unintentionally. I use some of the things with my daughter, and yeah, now thankfully I am in a journey of letting her go from her screen addiction and being able to create that bond again.
Yes.
So it was wonderful
Yeah.
sharing by you, Upasana. Let us all know for a closing thing what you can share, a last final word, so that parents can increase their willpower to help those little bundle of joy of their home, and they can enjoy the connection which we were using to enjoy in our childhood days.
Yes, absolutely. No, I'll be happy to share some of my resources. A lot of them are free resources, like the digital wellness questionnaire. So the parents can do an assessment to see how they're doing with balance, with safety, with behavior, because only when we know where we are, we'll able to fix it, right? So
Right.
try that questionnaire. Also, I conduct a free webinar wherein, the three aspects: balance, behavior, safety, intention, connection. I speak about how to build that, so we have tools, templates, exercises we do during the webinar. So feel free to just jump in. I'll send you the link. And, it's just about starting the journey. It's possible. We're all on the same boat. I mean, I won't say that you all have it all figured out or I have it all figured out. No, I mean, we are in a journey and
Right.
we're learning every day and we're just applying the skills, the learnings we've had along the years. I mean, we've all failed, we've all fallen, and then there were certain patterns that led to that, right?
Right.
It's just that, life isn't that straightforward anymore. And this whole digital has added a little bit more wrinkle to the already difficult journey of parenting, right?
Right.
So let us handle this aspect as a community together, and join hands with that. So with that, I just want to thank you, Manisha, for taking the initiative, for the wonderful work you're doing. I know, like, this is, you're doing this because it's your passion, it's the awareness that you want to drive. So we need more and more people like you to drive this, and very, very happy to support you on this mission. And thanks once again for having me.
Thank you so much, Upasna, for coming here. Lots and lots of gratitude to you. The work which you're doing for the society, it is wonderful. Like nobody is doing this thing, and you have taken this thing as your passion, as your mission, and helping more and more parents to let their children get out of the screen addiction. I would quickly share all the links in the description box which Upasna is sharing to us. I'll be giving all those things in the description box. I will also be sharing the mobile contact number if Upasna is okay with that. We'll be sharing all those things in the description box. I'll be sharing you the calendar link for booking a one-on-one, or the webinar link which Upasna is going to share with us in the description box, so that more and more people can get help from her, so that you can get a personalized kind of thing, or personalized solution. Or see, basically as a parent, it is also not easy to handle all those situations, to take that blame on ourselves. But Upasna is going to help you on that journey, and she will be helping you to get your little bundle of joy, enjoy all those things. आपके आंगन में भी वैसे ही खुशियां वापस से आ सकती है अगर आप चाहें तो. So the willpower is important, and we are
And
here
just
to
talk.
help you.
I mean, just pick up the phone and talk. There are no commitments required. I mean, if you want to talk, discuss, you're hassled by it. Sometimes what happens is, and I've struggled with it. When I was, in my professional world, there was lack of time, lack of knowledge to teach my child all these skills, and that's why we were kind of doing it all wrong, right? And there is a better way to do this. So maybe just talking sometimes just helps. And I hope that this interaction that you and I had, it reaches more and more people, because I think that's what's the beginning, right? The first step to change is becoming aware. Like you mentioned, for example, you weren't aware about the different aspects. I wasn't aware either, when I started on this journey. But as you uncover, as you learn from different parents, as you learn from each other and your own experiences, every day is such a big learning experience as a parent. And oh, I never thought about it this way. But you try, you experiment. And as I said, वो जो ढीला connection हो जाता है, वो आपका ऊपर जाके एक बार ही दिन में करते हैं, but it's worth it. I would just say it's worth it. So I would request all the parents to be intentional. It would really be worth it.
Right. I would also request parents to share this video, like this video, and to comment in the comment section if you are facing any kind of such issues, or if you are not being vulnerable at your point. You can share with us. You can call to give a call to us. We are available here. We are not going to pitch you anything. We are here to literally impact on the society. Umang Foundation is doing much and much more on this part. We are here to hear you, because I know in the busy schedule of everybody, there is nobody to listen to you, but we are here to listen you and to handhold you, to help you on this journey, because we have faced something very bad. I have faced very bad in my life. So it's my sole purpose to help each and every parent to get out of this situation. So more and more shares to more and more parents, so that we can together make a difference in the society, and we can give that smiling face in the children around us. We don't want any kind of like इस तरीके के आंखें वाले बच्चे अब नहीं चाहिए. They need to be smiling faces, right? So together we can make the change. And thank you so very much, whoever is watching the video live, whoever will be watching the recorded version. Thank you so very much for coming in this session, for joining us, for sharing the video, for liking the video, for taking an initial baby step towards getting out of that screen addiction of your child and yourself.
And giving them